All right, Brian. So here's one last little bit. This is in regards to the tiempes in their use in the 6 plays of the Elefante, and how to operate each in one of the 3 different tiempes. So the first play of the Elefante, we have slipping the leg, right? So Brian or Brendan, take a step back, Brendan. Take a step forward, Brendan. Now, Brendan, it's cha-chaing. I'm going to take a step back because it's reversed. All right, so Brendan throws it in a wildly inappropriate fashion. Brendan throws a culpa at my leg. I pull my leg back with a tornare, and I throw a culpa at Brendan's head. Stesso tiempe, right? How can we do this in mezzo tiempe or duo tiempe? Well, say we're not quite in right distance. Maybe Brendan's throwing a culpo at my leg at a way early moment. So when he throws the culpo, oh, he's still out of range of me. Well, if I'm quick and I catch it, I can make that tornare real quick and come back in. That could possibly be mezzo tiempe. I haven't really broken Brendan's tempo or anything, but I have acted in a quick enough time in which to, going to the OODA loop, which makes Brendan reset his OODA loop. He has to, it's caught him out of sorts. Now, if I'm not fast enough, and I also pass too far back, if I can come back with a punta or a sotani blow, if he's really overextended himself, then that's a possible way of doing it in duo tiempe. I think first, judge your distance, and then secondly, try not to overcommit to that swing. The second play is the rebattimento versus the punta. Very similar to play number 8 of the Jago Largo. So this, of course, seems to take place in duo tiempe. Brendan throws a punta, I bat it down, and then I resolve. Right? Okay, so how to do it in stesso and mezzo tempo first. So say Brendan throws that. Oh, this thing. Weak little thrust. So Brendan throws the punta. If I can just bat it aside and come back in, basically with a mezza volta or volta stabile of the blade, I can put his blade off. I batted it aside, and then I come in with my own thrust. To do it in volta stabile, or to do it in stesso tempo in one time, the only way I can think of to try and do it that way would if he threw the thrust and I just simply stepped out of the way. Now, I haven't controlled his blade, so I haven't really created a rebattimento on the blade, but I have operated in stesso tempe. So that's the danger of stesso tempe, is that you don't really establish control over the opponent's blade. This one and the resolution to the rebattimento versus the culpa, I think both show the dangers of operating in stesso tempe. While mezzo tempe and duo tempe gain you control over the opponent's blade. Fiori seemed to favor mezzo tempe since you operated within, as I said before, within the opponent's OODA loop. Okay, so rebattimento versus the culpa. Brendan's going to throw a culpa. I'm going to drive it down. I'm going to come back. I'm going to kill. That's duo tempe, right? I engaged his blade, controlled it down, came back, and that was like 3 times. But the initial resolution was in duo tempe. A resolution in mezzo tempe would be basically the volta stabile of the blade from the incrociata. We cross, I bounce off his and come in with force onto his arms, into his chest. Once again, we've controlled the blade and we've acted within a very brief moment of time, giving us mezzo tempe. So, stesso tempe. Once again, not controlling the opponent's blade, he's going to throw a culpa. I'm going to step offline, throwing my own culpa. Better be quick. You better be confident that your opponent's not going to recover and, easily turn. Because we haven't controlled the opponent's blade. Once again, the issue with volta stat or with stesso tempe. So, the ridoppiando. Brendan throws a kupa. I step to the side. I make contact with his blade, knocking it on the backside and come in. Duo tiempe, right? He throws the kupa, knock away, step in. Okay, I don't think there's a way to do it in mezzo tiempe. Maybe there is, I don't know. Stesso tiempe, though, would be simply using, instead of knocking the blade aside, just making an attack. A sottani straight to his arms, his hands, up into his body. Since the ridoppiando, you're already taking that step to the outside. If you can just throw that sottani up, I think of the three stesso tiempes within the rubatamento, the two rubatamentos, and this one, the ridoppiando. I think this one is the best one that you could throw in stesso tiempe because you're already stepping offline, counter to where he's throwing his sword. Instead of with the other two, you're kind of, or especially with the rubatamento versus the kupa, you're stepping with the blow of the sword, and then coming up onto the hands. So you are in a way kind of controlling the weapon there. So that's the ridoppiando. So then we have the capture en frontal, or actually we have the finding the thrust, which is basically the exchange of thrust. So in the kupa, I can through just a regular extending the longa, or through posta bicorno, or there we go, coming around the posta bicorno, or coming up high into posta frontale, or not posta frontale, finestra. So basically, in order to do these in stesso tiempe, well, in stesso tiempe, you pretty much have to go ahead and just come in with a thrust. If he just thrusting it, beat him to the punch. And these can happen in duo tiempe if you're slow. So we've come into the thrust. Okay, now I'm going to throw that thrust forward. But typically, I think as you get better, you'll just start moving quicker through it and quickly resolving into that thrust. And frontale is the same way. If I capture in frontale, if I just hang out here for a second thinking of what I'm going to do, I'm in duo tiempe. If instead I'm immediately moving into a push or a grapple or a bind, break, a throw, a strike, whatever one of the five resolutions you choose to make, then just the faster you're doing it, the closer you're getting to mezzo tiempe. So there we go. I hope you like. I hope I've gone through everything that I need to go through. I am going to attach a couple of sparring videos just so you can see what we're doing. Since today it's really wet and gross outside, so we're not going to be doing any sparring outside, but I have a couple of older ones that I will attach with it so you can make some judgments on that. Thank you very much, Brian.